Hey, this is Sean Smith and welcome. I'm so glad you joined us for this video series on the 7 deadliest goal setting mistakes in your network marketing or direct sales business. I'm filming from my children's toy room here in my home, and I love doing videos here because it always puts me in such a soothing state of mind, and it reminds me to play. And that's really what so many of us are not doing in our lives, is we're not playing because we don't have the freedom that we want, whether it's emotional permission or physical boundaries or whatever the stuff is. So that's one of the things that I'm really all about and I'm really passionate about, is enjoying this journey. So if you've started a direct sales business, obviously you want more out of your life, you want some more freedom than you currently have, you want some more financial leverage. And first of all, I honor you for making that choice and making that decision, because that puts you, at the cream of the crop, in my opinion. Because a lot of people are just out there, living day to day, paycheck to paycheck, and if people are enjoying their jobs, that's fine. But a lot of people aren't. I think a lot of people are walking around in a state of comfortable misery. Just walking around in a trance of disempowerment, wishing their life was better, but not doing anything about it. So first of all, I honor and acknowledge you for doing something about it, getting into the ring and going after some of your goals and dreams through your business. So I appreciate that, and I hope you acknowledge that in yourself. But let's talk about one of the reasons that a lot of people fail in their business. I'm going to continue to expand on this throughout the entire series, but most people are just setting themselves up to fail from the beginning because they're not setting goals properly. Now, one of the things that you'll continue to get as you stay plugged into our community is, my belief that the way that we're generally taught in society and the way that people generally, live life and go after their goals and dreams is, it's wrong. The reason I say that is because most people don't get what they want out of life. So that must mean, in my opinion, that people are not doing it the right way. What we're taught about goal setting and what we're taught about leadership and all these other concepts, that we're learning in business and stuff are just not working for most people. And so in the direct sales world, a lot of people are setting goals, they're creating vision boards, they're creating affirmations, they're doing all kinds of stuff that not only is it not helping them, it's actually hurting them and disserving them to a large extent. So that's what I want to share with you in this video series. And today's topic, today's teaching is really the first deadliest mistake, and it's probably the biggest because it's an umbrella that really encompasses all the other ones. And it's focusing on what you don't want. Our mind is like a heat-seeking missile. It's the most powerful thing we have as an asset for our achievement and just happiness in general. But it's like a heat-seeking missile, and if we don't use it properly, then it can't really help us, right? And imagine if you were actually going to program a heat-seeking missile. You wouldn't tell the missile what to avoid. You would plug in, the little coordinates of what it is that you want it to hit. And if you give that heat-seeking missile what you want it to hit, it'll go get it. It'll do the avoiding on its own. And it can even go past its target and flip a U-turn and come back and get to what it is that it was programmed to get. But most of us are programming our own mind, not with what it is that we truly want. We're programming it with all the things that we want to avoid. The two most common goals in the beginning of any year, when people are making their New Year's resolutions, are, I don't want to be broke and I don't want to be fat. And obviously, the whole focus is on broke and fat because the unconscious mind doesn't understand negatives. It doesn't understand no, it doesn't understand don't. It just really understands images and action words. So the only image that you're giving yourself, if you focus on I don't want to be broke, is broke. I don't want to be fat is fat. Now in the direct sales world, here's how this shows up most often. I have a lot of clients that tell me, they're tired of attracting the wrong kind of people. And I say, well, who is it that you want? And they'll say something like, well, I want somebody who's not going to quit. I want somebody who's going to get in and who's going to stop just telling me what they're going to do and then not follow through. I want somebody who's not just always focused on the economy, right? So as they're telling me what they want, really all they're doing is telling me what they don't want. And the mind is crystal clear about what it is that they don't want, but they're not programming the unconscious mind with any sort of image of what they're actually after. So what I want you to do with your business is create like a checklist of who is it that you're actually looking for. You want people, if you don't want people talking about the economy, who do you want them, or what do you want them talking about? And you might say, well, I want them talking about, growing in life. Okay, fantastic. So you're looking for people who are always talking about growing and who are big thinkers. And if you don't want people who are going to sign up and then not do anything, what do you want instead? And you might say, well, I want somebody who's committed and is going to follow through on their actions. Okay, well, say that then, right? And so I want you to come up with a checklist of the characteristics of the people that you're actually looking for, right? And you'll probably come up with maybe 3, 5, 7 characteristics and traits that you're actually looking for, so that when you see that person, you'll know when you found them. That's one of the biggest problems, is that people know who they're not after, right? They're very clear on who they don't want to attract. So you got all these people walking by them who are perfect for their business, but they're not paying attention to them because they're not programmed to seek them out. They're not programmed to even notice them as they walk by. And hopefully that makes sense. So, what most direct sellers are doing is they're just talking people into the business and then getting irritated that they're not the kind of people that they like, right? Or that they're after. So they're spending all this time, kind of resuscitating this person and giving them mouth to mouth. And while you're giving this person mouth to mouth, you've got your ideal prospect walking right behind you. But you're not going to see them and you're not going to attract them unless you're crystal clear around what you want. And the other thing is, when you're crystal clear about what you want, you'll start asking questions that will draw that out of your prospects. You might say something like, what I know to be true is that people who are successful in this business are people who are always thinking big. So you're basically setting the tone and setting an expectation for them that if they're successful, this is, the mindset that they're going to have. You might also say something like, here's who I'm looking for on my team. I'm looking for somebody who is committed and driven. I'm looking for somebody who sees the value in investing their time and energy and money in building something that's going to last for a long time. And I'm looking for somebody who's really wanting to build a legacy. Does that sound like you? So you can paint the picture of who you're after and then just ask them if it sounds like them. And what I promise you is it's going to be a much cleaner, much clearer conversation. Now that's with team members. The same thing goes with your goals. Don't just have a goal that says, well, I just want to make more money. Okay, well, if you make $1 more than you did last year, you technically fulfilled that goal, right? But if you really want your unconscious mind to get excited, you have to tell it exactly what you want. I want to make $100,000 this year. Or maybe I want to sponsor 50 people in the next month or the next 6 months or whatever it is. Or I want to, rise to the rank of this position in the company. Now, most direct sellers have those kinds of goals. However, what you don't have most of the time is the clarity around why you want those goals. So you've also got to give yourself as much of a tangible feeling as you possibly can around why those goals are important, because that level of clarity, the emotional clarity, is actually more important than the tangible clarity of what it is that you want. So have the tangible goals, but also ask yourself, why do I really truly want that? In other words, how am I going to feel when you get that goal? And that's an exercise you can easily do. Okay, I want to get into this car, or I want $100,000. Why is that important? How is it going to make me feel? And just play, just drill, just dig a little bit about how those things are actually going to make you feel. And then you'll be feeding your unconscious mind with some food that it really enjoys eating, because there's clarity there, and it's attractive, and it's engaging, and it's exciting. So with all of your goals, whether they're income-based, or they're health-related, or they're related to the kinds of people that you want to attract to your team, I want you to have crystal clarity around what you want and stay focused on that. And engage your most powerful asset, which is your heat-seeking missile, to lock on to what you want, and then keep feeding it the fuel of why you want it. And I guarantee you, in a very short period of time, you'll start to attract and notice all of the things that you want in your life, as well as the people that will help you get there. Now, I'm not saying that this is a line you're just going to cross, like you're going to flip the switch and just be bombarded with all this success and people knocking down, knocking at your door to join your opportunity. This is a journey, but you can't win in this journey unless you start operating in the proper way. So hopefully this message has landed well with you. This is something you can implement right away. Let me know how this helps, or if you have any more questions whatsoever, and tune in tomorrow. I'm going to send you video tip number 2 on the second deadliest goal setting mistake that direct sellers make. Until then, enjoy the journey. I'll talk to you soon.